10 incredible benefits of getting up alcohol, some of which I never thought of. I had to give up because of medical issues, but now everything's back on track, which is great. The main one, I think, is the most important one, or one of the most important ones, is an improved quality of life. Because if you've been down at the bottom of the bottle like I had, been very ill, been trapped, felt tortured by the drink, then when you stop drinking, your quality of life is better for a number of reasons, which I'm going to go through. I can't go through them all, it'll take a week. However, the main ones I shall go into. Your quality of life is pretty poor when you're a drinker. For me, it was in existence at best, and for a lot of my drinking buddies, ex-drinking buddies as it were, they're still going through the same thing. They can't break the cycle, they can't get out of the rut. Getting out of the rut is the main benefit, really, as a whole thing, because when you're trapped in it, you can't escape it. It's hard to describe unless you've actually been in it. And this is one of the things I say quite often, that I'm not a doctor, and a doctor's they can prescribe you all sorts of things. They're experts in the field, aren't they? They're wonderful people. I've got a lot of respect for doctors. They saved my life. But do they know how you feel when you crave a drink, when you're crawling along the floor, trying to get to the door to get a delivery of more drink in the middle of the night, when you collapse, when you have a blackout? They've probably never been there, or if they have, they've been very lucky to survive, as I was. So quality of life's the main one. The first thing I noticed was better sleep, because when I drank, I never slept properly. Even in the early days, I thought, well, have a few drinks, feel a bit better, a bit more relaxed, or knock me out a bit. I used to work shifts, so I was quite tired sometimes, and I thought, oh, I'll have a couple more drinks and just have a really good deep sleep, and you feel a bit better. And by the time you wake up, you feel a bit groggy, a bit of a headache, that sort of thing. So you will get a much better sleep when you don't drink. This is a totally different ball game, because you get into a sleep pattern as well. I don't think I was ever in a sleep pattern when I was drinking. I used to have some sweats and bad dreams and all this sort of thing. Always about the loo, because I used to drink lager, large quantities of it. You've always been disturbed by yourself in a way. Now, what I found after the first couple of weeks on the diet side of things was that I was put on quite a strict diet to get me back to normal. Now, that included a lot of fruits, veg, salads and whatnot. And when you have a good diet, you feel better. You know yourself, even if you had not much to drink and you have a curry or a Chinese, or have a lot of stodgy food, you don't feel like great the next day, do you? So your diet will improve. You'll have a few different meals, have some fish, a bit of steak, got your protein, have some eggs. When you're drinking, when I drank anyway, I was just eating pizzas from the local pub. Virtually every night, it's all I could stomach, to be honest. Pizzas or tins of soup, all that sort of thing, a bit of bread here and there. You had Mars bar, bar of chocolate, bag of crisps, some dry roasted peanuts, whatever snack they had in the pub, because you couldn't afford a meal out, because all your money was going on the drink. So you diet, you get a good diet, you feel better, protects you against colds and flu. Since I've become sober, I've never had any cold, flu, anything like that. No runny nose, no sore throat, nothing. It's not because I'm superhuman, it's just I'm giving my body the right fuel. It makes a massive, massive difference. Next one, number 4, for me, would be a lot less stress in my life. Because when I was drinking, my life was chaotic. And I mean chaotic. I couldn't deal with things. I had terrible, terrible anxiety. And the smallest problem would manifest itself into a huge, huge problem. I used to worry, and I didn't sleep properly. I felt anxious all the time. I felt on edge. Every time the doorbell rang, I was worried in case it was something terrible. Nothing ever happened to me terrible. I haven't done anything terrible. But you feel paranoid. You think everyone's going to be looking at you because you've had too much to drink. And you feel awful. Your whole world just gets out of control. That's why I use the word chaotic. It becomes chaotic, and it becomes torturous as well. So all that chaos will disappear. I'm not saying that when you're sober you won't have issues or problems to deal with, because you will. We all have every day, don't we? Life's not easy, it never has been. But with a clear head, then you can deal with those problems quite easily. You know, things don't just disappear because you're sober. But when you're drinking or you're in this drunken state or drunk state, then everything seems a massive, massive problem. It's not really, is it? But you just can't deal with it because you're struggling to try and keep yourself going, trying to keep yourself alive, and trying to deal with your own mental health issues as well in some cases. Another thing you'll find is your bank balance will be better, because I don't know how much you spend on drink, but I was spending probably £1,500 a month. £1,500 a month. Massive amount of money. You save that, you can start buying better food. You can start looking after yourself a bit better. How much are you going to jump on a plane to Bermuda? But you can start maybe a little trip away if you feel a little bit better. You can do more with your money. You can invest the money. You'll feel more secure. Because when you're spending most of your money on drink, you feel very insecure about the future, don't you? You start missing payments on things. Then you get debt collectors' letters, and they start ringing you up. That's more hassle, more stress, more torture, more grief, and that's more stress. The whole thing combined becomes an impossible situation. That with anxiety and the drinking and the no sleep and the low blood sugar because you haven't had a good diet compound itself into, you don't know where you are. Somebody didn't know what day it was. I didn't know what time it was. And I used to have to, this just sounds ridiculous now, but I used to have to bring up the speaking clock to clarify the time because I didn't believe my watch. It's madness what I went through. And I know some people on here have been through the same. Not driving properly, not being confident getting the public transport, all of this sort of thing. All that will make a big difference. More money, more security. You'll have more mental clarity as well, because you can't think straight when you're in this vicious circle, vicious cycle of drinking and surviving, drinking and surviving, going to the off license, making sure you've got a supply. You can think straight, you can deal with things, you can deal with people and problems. And a small problem will not seem huge, you'll be able to get on with it. That's a massive, massive thing. Thinking properly, you'll have decent memory again. When you drink, you lose your memory, you lose your judgment, and the whole thing is a mess. You also feel physically better. Physical vitality, I would say. You just feel a bit stronger. Because when you drink a lot, you lose a lot of muscle mass, you know. And your muscle will start to come on with your diet, better sleep, all these sort of things dovetail together, and you become physically fitter. And because you're not drinking, your brain's not getting all the carry on. Your liver's cleaning things out properly. So physically you'll feel much, much better. And I think another thing is, what that all leads to, you feel happy again. Because after a few months of not drinking, I felt much happier in myself. Because I started to feel like, well, it's not too bad life now. Because when you're in the throes of drinking all the time and just surviving, I would say, then there's no happiness really. It's surviving, isn't it? Another thing which will improve is relationships with your family. Because a lot of people, they'll not give up on you, but you'll come back stronger. I came back much stronger when I was given a second chance of life, you know. My personality came back. My daftness, you would say, came back. I felt good again. And all that will be magnified. Your family will see you as a different person, like the old Stephen was back, you know. And I think, again, with the quality of life, I would say that you've got a future. Now, I've got a really good future ahead of me. I hope I have anyway. So I've got a great partner, I've got a good life now. I've got enough money to get on with my life. I'm not spending a fortune or wasting a fortune on drink. And things are looking really good. I mean, I've talked a lot about the problems of alcohol, but there are some benefits of getting sober, and the sober benefits are 1,000,000 times better than the benefits of alcohol, because to me, there are no benefits to alcohol. Alcohol kills you. It ruins lives, it ruins families. If you are getting anything from these videos, please subscribe. If you've got any comments, please drop me a line, and I'll speak to you all soon.